They go to a restaurant and Harold lets Susan talk for hours while only occasionally saying uh-huh. When Susan asks him what's his mission in life, he says he was put on Earth to have a kid, and Susan gets emotional because men usually don't want commitment so soon. As Harold's groin starts worrying, Susan admits she has trouble trusting men. Afterward they go to her apartment and Harold rushes to her bedroom without even asking. He then starts kissing her, however Susan pushes him off and explains she's trying to fix her life, so she won't do the dirty anymore until she gets married. Panicking, Harold leaves. The following day Harold shows up in a plane's bathroom to meet with Graydon, who tells him to get married to Susan for the sake of their plan. Meanwhile Roland interviews Rebecca about the incident and she tells him about Harold's weird behavior, realizing she hadn't seen him aboard before the lights. She also comments on the whirring sound. When Roland checks the list of passengers, he can't find Harold's name. At the bank, Susan looks for Harold to open an account and Harold surprises her by asking her to marry him. Susan is speechless and asks for time to think about it. Later, while she's showing a house to potential buyers, she realizes she wants a marriage and a house like theirs. She discusses the issue with her friends over lunch and concludes she's running out of time. That afternoon, Susan calls Harold and agrees to marry him. Harold immediately begins organizing things and asks Perry to take care of his clients while he takes a few days off. The couple has a private wedding in a small chapel and Susan shares a beautiful speech, but Harold only says one sentence. Once they're officially married they go to their hotel room and Harold finally gets to do the dirty. Because his member is mechanical, he can keep going without getting tired and keeps Susan in bed for days. Eventually she becomes exhausted and convinces him to visit some touristic attractions, which he doesn't enjoy. In the meantime, Perry takes credit for Harold's work and convinces his boss that Harold is some sort of creep. When Harold returns to the office, he finds Roland inspecting his office. Roland asks Harold about the flight while putting a naughty magazine on the desk. Harold's groin starts worrying, so he sharpens a pencil to cover up the noise. At home, Susan is telling her friends about Harold's strange member and they find it amusing. When Harold arrives, he barely says hi and rushes to the bedroom. Susan comes out